guys made a trade with him?
Yes, we did. We have traded him to Pittsburgh, and I believe it's a 5th-round draft choice.
Basically numbers that you.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's a good player. He deserves an opportunity. We want to help him, obviously, get going, learning a new offense, and Dwayne Harris is going to be our kick returner, punt returner.
You seemed like you were pretty intrigued in Switzer when you guys first got him. Was there anything that changed between then and now, or was it just
we got a good opportunity to get a good pick for him today. It was good for the Raiders. I think he's a good player. I think he's going to do well. And I think Dwayne Harris is going to do well for us also. But it comes down, as you said during camp, special teams is a big part of the 4th, 5th receiver, and that was the case again this year.
Do you have any update on Kirk Whalen? We saw him leave the locker room in a boot.
Turf toe. That could be a couple weeks. Could be a few weeks.
Seth played a lot on Friday. What did you see from him?
But he did some good things. Some of the balls didn't go his way, but he was open a few times. Did a nice job blocking. Did an excellent job running some routes, and it's good to see him back out there. We'll try to get Seth a lot of work here in the next couple days. It's good to have him back on our offense.
Besides Harris' return skills, what do you like about what he can do to help you?
Well, he caught 5 touchdown passes a couple years ago from Eli. He's a capable guy, and coming in there in the slot, he can go outside. He showed some separation when he did play the other night. Had a good return call back. He's a versatile player. We can hand him the ball. We can do a lot of things with him. He's tough. He was just hurt last year. That was, why you didn't hear from him. And he's a Pro Bowl special teamer. I really think a couple years ago when the Raiders lost Holmes and Trodwick and Bates, I think it really hurt their special teams, and we want to try to get a couple core guys that Bisaccia can count on every week, and we'll start with Harris.
We greeted Fidel Brown.
Yeah, he did a good job, didn't he?
Yeah.
I like Fidel Brown. He practices hard. He's come the hard way up. He's had a lot of injuries. He was on the team last year. I don't think many people knew who he was. But he has quietly gone about his business, and his factor grade, forget about the sack and a half, he was rewarded. I thought he closed out the Detroit Lions with a strip at the end of the game. His factor grade, pressures, penetrations, pursuit plays was very, very good for a defensive end. I know he didn't go up against the Packers' first team. I know he didn't see Aaron Rodgers, but it's all relative. He did a lot of good things.
Just seeing the film about Donald Penn, what did you see from him at right tackle first?
Yeah, some good things. He had, the obvious the fumble play. I'm sure people will point to that and say it wasn't a good performance, but I thought for his first time back on the field in a long time, going against the first team of the Packers, I thought he did some good things.
You said nothing was set in stone when Donald first played at right tackle, but are you confident Colton will start at left tackle week 1?
I am. Yeah, I am. I think he's improving every week. He's going to have his hands full all year, just like every left tackle does, especially every rookie left tackle. But we are really, really excited about the man from UCLA. He's got a great future in this league.
Do you guys view Rodgers-Cromartie as mostly a cornerback, or can he play safety for you guys?
That's what I love about the acquisition. I think he's a corner. I think he's a guy that can play the nickel because he's played the nickel. You can put him in there in a dime position. He can play deep. He's played in every defense known to man, and he can still run. He's got size and length. And right now he's mastering our defense, and we'll try to get a few snaps, hopefully from him at Seattle, and see what happens.
You were talking about Brown, and you have Shalik and a lot of different guys on that defensive line. Are you going to have some tough choices come the end of this week?
Yeah, I think so. I think it will be tough. Do we keep 9? Do we keep 10? I think Rutgers come in here. If you watch the first play of the game the other night, his pursuit, he's still got long speed to go get it. He's versatile. He can play inside or out. He knows the defense. Carradine had his best game. Fidel and Calhoun can play special teams. So there's some really good candidates we're excited about.
I'm sure you'd love to have that additional problem of Khalil being in that mix too. Anything to update there?
That would be a great problem to have. I don't have anything to update. unfortunately.
Besides him just obviously not being here, what has been the biggest impact of him not being around over the past month?
Was playmaking, his leadership, his presence. Great players, like Mac, have all those things going for them. They make people around them better, and they make offenses account for you. You're going to account for Khalil Mack. You probably got to double team the guy, and someone else is not going to have to deal with that. So there's a lot of things that a great player brings to your football team. Hopefully that's sometime soon.
I know you said you don't have an update, but do you anticipate that being done by next weekend?
I don't want to put any timetable on it. This has obviously been a long process that's been grueling for both parties and fans and me personally, and we're just hoping we can get him in here.
Coach, what do you see out of EJ O'Connor sort of sees that backup quarterback job?
Well, ball security, number one. You can't turn the football over, and the turnovers have been very preventable. And we've worked too hard on anti-turnover drills every day before practice even starts. We're banging these guys. We got footballs with strings. We're trying to pull it out. We're turning the ball over too many times. That's number one. And we got to complete some drives, throw the ball more accurately. We've got to throw the ball consistently better, take better care of the football, and move the offense. And that's what we want to see.
You said the other night you didn't know if your backup quarterback was on the roster. Will you look at bringing anyone in, or? Well,
there's a lot of things I don't know. I don't know who's going to be released at every other position on the teams. I don't know if we're going to make some trades. We're in this business to try and improve every position, and we're going to try to be reckless and aggressive, trying to improve this team. So we'll see. I don't know who's available yet, and I do know what we have to do now, and that's what we're going to focus on.
What have your impressions of Azeem Victor been, and what do you need to see from him in this final preseason game?
Well, he's a physical player. He's no question a physical player. He's got to clean up his play on special teams, and he's got to improve in coverage, like most young linebackers. A lot of times at Washington, he played as an edge rusher. He's inexperienced in terms of all the different types of coverages that we play, recognizing formations. I think that's the big two areas that we want to see him improve at in Seattle. He'll get a lot of chances to do that.
How was Martavis? How has he progressed over the past?
He's progressed. He's progressed some. I thought we had him down the field a couple times the other night. Unfortunately, we didn't see him, but he's been on the practice field the last 4 or 5 days straight, which is good news.
What's the next step for Connor Cook? He played well the first game. What have we seen in the last 2 weeks as far? What's been the change against the last couple of games versus the first one?
Well, I think the second time out, the very first play snapped over his head. That's not a good way to start when you get hit right underneath the chin to start the first round. I think the play around him has to be better too. Some of these backup linemen have to give him some better looks in the pocket. Some of our receivers, they got to separate better. It's up to all of them, but Connor's got to take better care of the ball, and he's had some chances, I think, to make some throws because I've seen him make them on the practice field. I think he's capable of completing more passes accurately.
Mike Nugent. Go ahead.
How do you approach this game? Short rest.
Well, we've had a unique practice already started today, and not everybody's going to play. A lot of the veterans aren't going to play at all, so we don't want to just put them over here for 3 or 4 days while we wait for the preseason to end. So we're trying to creatively keep our veteran players focused on what's ahead in the next 10 or 12 days. And we've isolated the men that are really playing for a job here and the game plan that we want to try to execute at Seattle. So we're kind of splitting people up a little bit, trying to accomplish 2 things like most teams in the league right now.
Is there on some level, is there some preparation for the Rams already?
There might be some level somewhere, Jerry, of preparation.
Mike Nugent, you've been working the past couple weeks exclusively as your guys' kicker. I know familiarity there with Rich, both in Tampa and in Dallas. What have you seen from Nugent, and do you think it's possible that he could be your week 1 kicker?
Yeah, it's possible, very possible. He's an 80% kicker for 13 years. I don't know what the exact percentage is, but he's a good kicker. He's been a good kicker for a long time. You don't make it in this business unless you are. He's got the mental toughness, the reliability to overcome a bad game or a bad kick. Right now, he's the leader in the clubhouse because Eddie's not healthy.
Now that you're a month in, your first time back in a while, what has been the biggest adjustment from your last tour through the league?
Well, just putting the team together. You know, I don't want to lose sight of that. We've got to find the right 53 players before we can even worry about the Rams. You know, unfortunately, some of the young players we have not been able to get enough out of yet. I do like our rookie class. I think that was paramount, getting our rookie class, our first class in here and get some contributions immediately. I think we're going to get that this year. But, you know, some of the previous classes we're still in the process of trying to get more out of those groups. But trying to just keep the right 53 men. That's the number one challenge here.
Has the adjustments in kind of the way the schedule is now compared to when you were back in?
I mean,
last time, has that kind of made you have to adjust the way you approach some of that stuff?
Not really.
No.
I've had to adjust. You know, as a broadcaster, you know, we have to make adjustments too. But I've seen it. My brother's in the league. That's all my friends are in the league, and I think my coaching staff, they've been in the league. So we've tried to take ideas from Green Bay and from Oakland and from all over the country, the Rams, the Dallas Cowboys, and put together a schedule that hopefully our players will tell you has been beneficial to them.